Hello and welcome to the Matty Allen Live Show. I'm super excited to be coming to you today with a bunch of hype about the upcoming HEX conference, and I'm just getting my settings together here. And it looks like, can everybody in the chat hear me? How's the audio? We got Papa Boehner in the house. We got Joe Hexotic. Good to see you guys. We were on camera together last night. That was a lot of fun. Thanks to Hexologist and RG3 for all their contributions and for agreeing to help host the HEXchange conference. It's a huge honor to be involved with so many smart people. And I've got a special guest tonight who will be definitely exciting and somebody that I also consider to be a close friend in crypto now. Joe, you're saying that I'm not live on DLive. Hmm. Hey Hector, hey David, Nardo for the win, Identity Block, Unhexable. Great to see you guys. So I may be running into a similar problem that other people have been having lately with DLive here. So I'm going to go ahead and fire it up one more time here in DLive because it's really good practice. Thanks for your patience, and I'll make sure to drop some extra knowledge bombs and exciting information for you sticking around and putting up with the DLive. We are on Twitch, Periscope, and YouTube currently. And let's see if DLive's going to come up for us. Hey Motley, how's it going? Good to see you. Here for 15 years, no rush? That's very kind of you. I was just telling some other people earlier today that I don't get nervous anymore when I'm going live. When Joe and I started, our hearts would be racing and we'd be all nervous. But now it feels great. I get really excited to see what the chat has to say and to learn from the guests on the show and to talk hex. I mean, what else is there? um, let's see here. I'll give DLive one more try here. But then it's curtains for them. I know Hexologist has already moved on to greener pastures and looks like he's doing extremely well, of course, as we knew he would on Twitch. And I like what RG3 said about, going to whatever platform is going to be the best to our community, right? That's solid gold. And because it should be a competition, right? Because when you're dealing with centralized entities that run monopolies, then they really don't have to have good customer service. They really don't have to cater to communities. But when communities like ours are so strong that we'll move, and we don't, we're not scared to move. right? We're not worried that we're gonna fall apart or lose our core. I think with a lot of streamers, they would be thinking completely differently about their relationship to the platform that they're using, and I think that's another reason the Hex community is so outstanding. Let's see here. Okay, great. So I'm going to bring on my guest here, and we've got with us via audio, KryptoKoolaid.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Do I have mic?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right,
And
perfect.
I'm excited for us to talk a little bit about what people have to look forward to coming up here with the HEX conference. And you and I have been working around the clock, and
Yes,
we've
sir.
been
Yes, sir.
creating some amazing stuff to give back to the community and because of the community. So
That's right. That's right. And I'm out on video because I'm actually at the game studio right now. I've been here for, God, almost 24 hours working on 3D backgrounds. Had to bring out the big guns since the computer was erroring at home to get some stuff done for the conference. But we got some great panels, some great people, some great ideas, some great ideals that you need to be looking forward to. I've only got about 20 minutes that I can be on because thank God for 2020, my car key broke. So I'm waiting for a locksmith to finally get my stuff in, but as is life. And so, yeah, Maddie's been working around the clock trying to get everything done to get a very smooth sailing conference, the very first HEX conference. And the best part about that is just like getting your Genesis shares, just like getting your early stakes in, just like being at the forefront. This is the first full year, first to be many year HEX conference. So if you are tuning in, if you are being connected, if you're jumping on a stream, it's the very, very first of many that will be had. And those are the things that echo through time. So very, very proud of what Maddie and Joe have been doing. And as always, I am here to wiggle my pixel finger and help out in any way that I can.
well, and you're a great asset to the community. Not only are you a brilliant mind when it comes to game theory and when it comes to cryptocurrency in general, you are also the lead graphic design architect on the Hex Changes project.
Mm-hmm.
And you have been able to create a CGI background for the community that has been blowing our minds. I mean, it's super exciting, and I know that everybody's going to be looking forward to it. Not just because it's you know not just because it's so amazingly beautiful and well designed, but
I don't know about all
also
that. I've put the buttons together pretty well, but I don't know
all
about
right,
all that.
listen up. Also because we can't be in person right now. And so for all of us to
Straight
be
up.
able to have matching backgrounds and to feel kind of visually that we have a sense of community and that we're all in the same place, we were testing it out today. And it was like, yeah, I mean, it was like we're all in the same compound or something.
Sure enough, and that's the important part. Is it's the small things that you have to take pride and privilege in as you move forward in this crazy age that we're in. And yeah, it's good to actually connect, and that's the beautiful part about the Hex community is it actually is that it's a great community, not just about gains, not just about lifestyle, not just about forward thinking, but it's a lot of things that you can build from mental health, from building skills that you never had before, from coming together and each putting in the effort that maybe someone else didn't have. So it's all really good stuff.
Yeah, it's something that other I haven't seen in other communities. You've been in crypto longer than I have. Um, can you speak to that?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because ideally at the end of the world, if we're talking about like high level building a film, a game, if you want to be a director, the trick to it all is fail fast. And to fail fast, that means you have to get wrecked. It means you have to learn quickly from your mistakes and not pull your team through a lot of bad that you didn't want to accept that was bad before you got there. And
Mm.
with anything in life, whether that's education, college, job, relationship, if things are going bad, you need to learn from them and accept this position that you're in. I mean, we as Hexicans right now are in a very big position. We're in a great position, a very, very inclusive and bubbling community. And in the past in crypto, it wasn't that. There was a lot of speculation, there was a lot of no knowledge. I
Yeah.
mean, you can go back to like, the super OGs from 2012, 2013, where they didn't have like constant wallets to be able to hold their stuff. I mean, they didn't have an exchange they could trust after Mt. Gox. You still can't
Yeah.
trust an exchange. But like in general, there wasn't an app on your phone to do it for you. You had to be plugged into a full node. You had to have all these other things to do. And so the fact that you're here and listening to these things, whether you've been in it for a long hot minute and you're finding an awesome port of respite, which I feel that I have found, or this is your first time tuning in and you barely know how to move your Ethereum, there is such a wide berth of
Welcome. Welcome to the
community. Yeah,
party.
welcome to the party, pal. Exactly. But there's a wide berth of people that are not just teaching you things, but they're giving you all the tools available to teach yourself. And that is the most valuable asset is education, whether it's from yourself or someone else. And so, though I have been wrecked, I have had all the crazy happen. Um, the only way that you ever get somewhere in life is to learn to fail fast. And by failing fast, you learn from those around you. You take in that honor guard of having that knowledge and moving forward. So, yeah, it's quite exciting to see what we've already done in the first year, and the Hex community is still very, very, very small in where we are going to go and what we
That's
are going
right.
to build and what we barely got our Model T running off the ground, but very, very soon we will be a Tesla. So the fact that you are here, the fact that you are listening, the fact that you are learning gives you a strategic edge and advantage onto how you're going to be able to move forward and make those small decisions. Maddie, being a mental health guy, will tell you that it's the small things that matter the most because you make that into your regiment. And if you have that regiment, whether that's dollar cost averaging 10, 15, 20, $30 a week, or doing the small things like working out, eating healthy, finding something that grounds you against the negativity and the naysay in your own head. That's the good stuff. So that's what you have to look forward to, both in 2021, both in Hex and the first Hex conference.
That's right. Yeah, the education is going to be off the charts. And we're going to try to make sure that we 10x everybody's knowledge about crypto and about Hex, right? Because that's how we think, is we think in multiples, right? Not
Exactly.
just in measly single digit or double digit or triple digit percentages. We're here for the big win,
Mhm.
and that goes beyond money. And as Richard has said many times, right? Like, there's a number of things that you need in life in order to win, and that includes money.
Mhm.
And but there's a lot more than just money. And I feel like being in Hex. I mean, let me tell you, I didn't have anybody to talk about crypto with uh, before I started really connecting with the Hex community. I mean, there were times when a friend of a friend, this is 2, 3 years ago, a friend of a friend, we would meet, and the person knew about crypto, so I'd talk with them for hours. Like, it's not something most people know about. And so with Hex, finally, it's something where I think a lot of people are realizing that it's worth sharing with their family. I mean, you know, I've heard so many people say recently that they've been in crypto for a number of years, but now is the time they're getting their family into crypto because they trust HEX, and HEX is paying trustless interest at a rate that can't be matched. For the level of risk that you're taking on, there is minimal, very minimal risk because of the audits, because we know that economically speaking, we can see the code. You know, on this show, we've opened up the code on stream. We've looked at it, right? Like, and we can do a deeper dive at some point. But I think that because of the level of trust that people are having in HEX, we're onboarding and educating people who we care about. And that's something that I think is really special and something that I've done myself. And I just keep getting into these situations where family and friends, you know, are getting all these airdrops coming out of nowhere. And so it's like, oh, hey, you know, you invested $20, but you know, now you have 10,000 because Uniswap airdropped some of my friends, you know, $2,000. They converted it to HEX. HEX does, you know, 5x since May or whatever. So I mean, these are super exciting times, and so I'm super excited for all the different combinations of people and knowledge that will be presented at the conference. And I know the community has been asking me to like step through like you know, moment by moment to preview what is going to happen in the HEXchange conference. And but I know that we've only got
Maddie. You can't, as someone that composes this magic for a living, you can't preview magic. You just have to tune in and be immersed.
Well,
you have to be immersed.
Is what they want. They want me because they're listening. They're making their sandwiches like I do when I'm listening to HEX conference. When I'm listening to HEX content, there's
so much content,
Freudian slip, and you know, and so some people, they need to hear it instead of just see it. And so, but we want to hear from you now because I know we only have you for a few more minutes before your next appointment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm always here. I tell you what, like I've dealt with a lot in my life and how I've pivoted my life, and one day we'll get more onto that on stream on how changing your life can affect your mental health both positively and negatively, very negatively. But all the negatives do have a silver lining. What you need is focus. When you have focus and drive and things that give you opportunity by just listening, by keeping your ear to the ground, right? You know what I mean? Like you're talking about airdrops. You shouldn't plug your wallet into just any old airdrop. However, Richard told you exactly what was going to happen if you were just paying attention. And it's sometimes hard with so much content. But I tell you what, the beauty of it is, and that's why I've been at the office for last 18 hours working on this background. Like the one I had before was trash. This one I think is actually pretty good. And the magic came last night. But the reason why is because if you have your ear to the ground, if you're listening at the right time, all of the world, the Pandora's box will open up to you. And so the beauty of having so much good content with content creators like you and Joe and Coffee and Motley and RG and Hexo and everyone else that's just basically getting their foot into the ground that says, I exist here. I want to grow this thing, and I am going to continue to do this daily, weekly, whatever it is, to keep growing. That's foundation. That's roots. That's bedrock. Bedrock is not what gets rug pulled. And again,
you're so right. You know, I'm having an aha moment as we speak, because that's another thing that's keeping me so locked in and attracted to the HEX community is because I'm growing. I can see my growth. I can see everybody else's growth.
Yep.
Wow, you just illuminated that for me. Thank
Well,
you.
it's all very game theory in it too, right? So, at a high level, I don't want to break into too much conference stuff, but at a high level, game theory people tell you to do things by not telling you to do something else. And I was thinking about it the other day because I haven't put together a spreadsheet. I just kind of want to wing the conference a little bit. But like as a society in general, we're told to buy the thing that's depreciating and not worth shit. And then we're
Yes.
not told to invest both time, energy, effort, life, science, health into the things that matter the most. And those don't actually depreciate. Those eclipse, right? When you get a gain, whether that's a 20x in a crypto or a 15-pound bench press, that's a gain. That is now your resistance. And it's funny. Well, it's not funny. It's common logic that we are pitted and trained to not invest in exactly what we should be. That's why the commonality is always do what the other people are doing, right? But as a society, we're trained like little scared chickens to run when the running's too high, right? We see a price eclipsing up, and we could have bought it low, but now we see everyone else getting in, like, oh no, I'm going to miss out. Like it's going to come back down, and you should have bought it earlier. So take that as a lesson learned that the next time that happens, you had already forethought of what your expectation is going to be. And that really is the beautiful thing about our community is they understand those fundamental values from so many walks of life, from like chatting with Joe earlier, or Unwrecked Pirate, or Crypty Girl,
Serena.
or like Serena. She was awesome. She hung out for like 3 hours, and I was just like,
Yeah.
hey, she was dope. And I was just like, what's your story? What you doing? You want to see some random CG nonsense? I'll just share my screen while I build CG nonsense. But it was good to like, it's cool to know that the people you're sharing your time with also are going to be the people that you're going to be making a very financially invested, well thought out and developed
Yes.
future. That is, you normally don't hang out with your brokers.
Yeah.
But in this odd fucking time that we live in COVID land, you can hang out with someone. I mean, look at Gary, right? Hustling VC, but VC that builds on so many more fundamental values than just a commodity, or than just something that gives derivatives, right? And so,
I mean, and Gary is willing to give himself a Richard Hart tattoo. And I don't believe he was just doing it for the money.
oh my God! So y'all are so lucky that I need to talk to Cap about it, because like I was sitting in a hot tub, first time I've seen humans in almost like 5 months, 7 months. But like I spin fire, and then I was at a house like we were building art cars for Burning Man, and their 16-year-old daughter spins fire, and I safety for her. So we could have come on and like ate some fire, spin some fire for the talent show, and I'm like, no. I'm sitting in a hot tub. I am not cryptoing. I am sitting in humaning tonight. There is no involvement, but it was so
Good
cool
for
to
you.
see everyone. It was nice. It was the first time I've had that, and God, it's weird to be almost a year of this, man. It really is. But I mean, I
That's
tell
part
you
of
what,
self-care.
it is. But you know what's crazy is like self-care is also like the best thing of 2020 is all of us building a community. We all look at what we lost, what we missed, and all the rest of that. And we don't look at what we are building that's in front of you. That gravel turns into granite as long as you let and mold it in long enough.
That's totally true, and it's amazing to see. We've even in the chat here we've got Hodl Dog, and the chat's going crazy because everybody loves him.
What up, dude? I need to talk to you one of these days.
Saying that even in the chat, his voice is so calming.
It is. He has the booming voice of bass.
Yes. And we're excited to have him in the conference as well.
What's he on?
He is doing the global panel with Unwrecked Pirate and Switch Up A-Bit and Barely Crafty. That's going to be an outstanding panel.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, I love AVIT. And again, Hollow Dog, I never got to chat to you, but I love your streams, all the good stuff. Well, what I love about your position is you stuck to a very, very, very basic, consistent thing. What was it? 0.05 ETH every day. Boom, 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 like dynamite. And that's conditioning, right? It's like waking up and doing your push-ups. It's like waking up and eating a proper meal. It's like waking up and meditating, going to sleep and stretching. Once you get those small things, the big things are so much easier to do. And you showed people such a great way to just
Absolutely.
but it's not hard when you just get a good habit down. I mean, we talked about like the Pavlov, which is the shocking alarm clock, and or shocking like collar. It's prevention management through stimulation. But like once you use it corrects the ship.
And all of us can use some ship correction, no matter what your level of self-care. I think that's one thing about humans is we like to grow.
Yeah, no, true enough.
And now I've got a interesting question here, and so basically, I have well, first of all, a confession. I have quit watching any content that is not educational. I did that maybe like 6 months ago or something.
Good man.
But just before I did that, I was watching a great series called Westworld. And normally I watch everything like years behind everybody else. So, I'm sure everybody's already talked about it and everything. But, this was blowing my mind. And you and I talk all the time, but I haven't brought this up to you yet.
I definitely I'm considering applying a job for that makes those things. Westworld is an accordion series. So an accordion series, I don't know if we talked about this before.
No spoilers. I think I've only seen like 2 seasons.
That's fine. That's fine. What I'm going to do is talk about something that'll make you understand how an accordion series works. So are you familiar with Kill Bill, right? Have you seen Kill Bill?
Yes.
Okay. You know the whistle scene, right? That whole whistle scene? Do you know where it comes from? It's really interesting if you study film theory for a living, because the whistle scene is based on a 1930s director called Fritz Lang. Most people know him from the iconic movie Metropolis, but Fritz Lang built a very controversial movie called M in looks like 1934. All right, I do have to go. Hold on 1 sec. Hey, are you outside? All right, give me 2 seconds. I'll be out there. So I'm going to finish this story. What's that? Yes, I will be there in about 2 minutes. I have to explain something on stream real quick. I'll be there in 2 minutes. So I'm going to fast track this for you. So Fritz Lang created this movie called M in 1934. And it's basically about this crazy old dude that kidnaps kids and kills them. But he whistles at them before then to attract them. And so that whistle was actually influenced by Tarantino when he did Kill Bill. How do we know that? Well, he actually used Fritz Lang's Hunted Man, 1936, something like that, as the inspiration for Inglourious Bastards. Now, who was the inspiration of Fritz Lang that we know the best? Alfred Hitchcock. So when you see how things fold, just the whistle, Terminal is the next one that you want. It's an expose and lighting, and it's gorgeous. Margot Robbie, it's an amazing movie. But anyway, the whistling that's in Terminal is a nod to Tarantino's whistling, which is a nod to Fritz Lang, who was the inspiration for Hitchcock. So we can talk film, we can talk game theory at a later time. All you Hexicans, all the love. Happy New Year. I have to go. And Maddie, as always, a pleasure, my dear friend.
Yeah, thank you so much. Can't wait to talk next.
Bye, guys.
Peace out. All right. And so, fear not, the show will continue. I know we're going to get you guys through until the next Hex stream is going to come along. So, I'll be continuing for another 20, 30, 40 minutes here for y'all. And thanks for tuning in and sticking around. Now, I did want to make the point that KryptoKoolaid, he always shows his face, but he couldn't do it tonight because he's in his studio where he works. using all the supercomputers they have there to make the HEX conference background. And they have all these non-disclosure agreements and that sort of thing because he works at a real high-level place. And so that's why he wasn't able to show his face this time, but he was on stream, wasn't it last night or something? So that's something that we take a lot of pride in the HEX community, the fact that so many people show their faces, and the people who don't, they're an exception, and that probably makes a lot of sense, right? Like, I care a lot about Silver the Antidote because he's so giving, right? He gives to the community all the time, and he's got like an interesting personality, and yeah, I mean, people have said it before. I'm gonna say it again. He makes Chainalysis interesting, and he blends in the psychology so well. As somebody who is super into psychology, I can give him mad props, right? And definitely appreciate his mastery of the two arts that he's combining. And so for him to be able to make content and then to get that out so quickly, and it's unbelievable. And so thank you to Silver the Antidote. We don't want him to show his face, right? Because people are going to get real mad at him, since he could be talking about their character based on their on-chain behavior. Well, guess what? If you don't want Silver the Antidote talking about what type of person you are, then you probably shouldn't be dumping the price. And if you're dumping the price, that's fine too, right? Like, it's the reason this is on a public blockchain is to make sure of a number of things, to make sure that coins aren't being double spent. So that's in Bitcoin and HEX and every other currency. Double spend attacks, they happen. Bitcoin Gold, it's like every other day. Might be an exaggeration, but still, let's be real. And so there's that aspect, right, of making sure coins aren't double spent, which is why we need to have cryptographic proof of what's going on chain. But also, HEX is going to deliver us insights and information that hasn't existed before, because we can not only see people's past behavior all the way back to the Genesis block, but we can also see, in some cases, their future behavior. And that's with your HEX being staked. When you're signaling your future behavior and the contract is locking you into it, right? And so, so this creates all types of game theoretical possibilities, and it's going to be a lot for these guys to work with for the 1 hour that they're going to be doing their super panel on game theory. So I want to make sure we walk through all the different topics, but we will have KryptoKoolaid, who is a video game architect and very successful, talented guy, been in crypto for many years, and he'll be on the panel with Silver the Antidote and with Steph, who created the stake wrap, and with Randy Hilarski, who knows how to make stuff go viral. He writes articles for Coin Market Cap, for CoinDesk, for all these different places. He said on stream the other day, like, he's the plant that we have, like, inside of some of these establishments, and he's chipping away at people to get them to understand really what HEX is, because I said the other day, I'll say it again. There are two types of people in the world: people who understand HEX and people who will understand HEX. Kind of reminds me of when money was created. Had to start somewhere. People had to catch on at some point. I wasn't around then, but take my word for it, I guess. I'm joking a little bit here. But I don't know. I'm having a good time talking about all this game theory stuff because you could tell I'm excited about this conference. You could tell I can't wait to hear all these people speak because it's a dream come true when you have everybody in the Hex community say yes to all getting together and dropping knowledge bombs like knowledge bombs have never been dropped before, you know. And we got Richard Hart who's going to be giving a keynote. He's going to be doing a panel. So let me just walk through and who do we have here?
I got 20 minutes, then I can leave.
Hey,
the teaching is done in 20 minutes. I will go home and drink my little Kool-Aid and be done with the day. That's okay. We have an awesome conference background. We have an awesome panel. There's great people. And it's always a pleasure
to working all night and all day.
Yeah, I've been here since 4 p.m. yesterday. Sorry.
I've been singing your praises.
I'm just ridiculous.
I'm going on my own rants about game theory and how great Silver the Antidote is, who will be appearing with you. I hear.
So, I know Archie was talking about it, and I've talked with Silver a couple different times, like privately over Discord video or audio chat, and what he does is amazing. He puts so much. No one knows what it takes to build a game. It's mind-boggling. But what Silver does, and what he teaches, and what's going on in his Discord, is mind-blowing. Get in there, get to know him, and for me, like we talked about earlier, that I got wrecked in crypto, hugely wrecked, massively.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll sign up for his class. Like, I can't wait.
Just to get in there for $25 a month is the best thing that you could ever feasibly do. But if you really want to take,
no way it's that cheap.
Well, no, just to get into the Discord, right? He has private lessons, but just in the Discord,
that's awesome.
You get it right off the teat, right? It's like there, and the difference is, it's like when I come in and I help Hexkins with like their videos or all the rest of that, I'm trained in this. It's what I do professionally. The knowledge that Silver has, it was like the third eclipse of when I knew that I converted my 401k in, that I converted all my everything in. First, I saw the community. Second, I saw the Staker app, and I saw the future front of what people are building on the platform that has nothing to do with the developers. No rug pull available. Everything's immutable. Everything's launched. If you want to own the future, you have to build it. So we can see people doing that. And then we see the other tiers of it, right? Like the Silver class, where they're the lifeguards. They're the lighthouses. They're the one watching the whales. They're the one watching the tide when it comes in. That's super damn valuable. Just from like going in and just seeing that, that's super valuable. But if you want to educate yourself onto how you can take that knowledge and eclipse it into something else, it's just sitting there ready for you. And it's not that expensive if you think about the value of doing your own cross-chain analysis, whether you're in HEX or not. Why would you not want to be able to look at where your money goes, what your money does, right? I used to be a truck driver. And the thing about a truck driver is, or any type of professional driver, you know how to operate things on wheels. Weather doesn't matter. Snowing, sleeting, fire, mudslide, roads on wheels. I've got this. And so by going through those classes, you learn those variables that teach you the ability to make executive decisions very quickly. And so like we don't advocate trading in HEX because it's silly. Why would you want to trade for a measly 5x when we've go to Lookonomics and just press the 1 year chart on HEX? You just you shit yourself silly. You can't trade that well. But knowledge is better than money, and that's what we were talking about earlier. The one thing that you can't buy is knowledge. You can try to buy it, but it's horse to water, right? You know what I mean? You can give someone all the stuff for free, or they can pay for it. But if they pay for it, then it has an intrinsic value because they put effort in. But that knowledge.
2 months ago, I've learned more from Richard. Watching 100 hours of his live streams than I did in my entire master's degree.
Oh, and I'll agree with you
And
there.
I learned a lot in my master's degree. Don't get me wrong. Like, that's the level of knowledge that we're dealing with here, and now it's multiplying, and that's the best part.
It really is, because like for me, like coming from like game aspect, game theory, the game theory in Hex is so fucking solid. And the whole thing about game theory is if I'm a developer, I do two things. I encourage you to possibly do what you don't want to do, and then reward you when you don't do that, or I smack you down really hard when you do what I told you not to do. Guess what the Staker gas class gets paid in? When people that don't show up on time and when they show up too early. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it's built into the system. It's so simple. And right now that's the bread and butter of the Staker class.
Yeah.
Emergency on stakes, and you lose your keys, use your wallet, all the rest of that. It's not my problem that you're in a different city doing something we need to unstake. You should know better. Put it on your calendar. Be an adult.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Be an adult. I'm gonna quote you on that because that's a perfect way of putting it. Like,
it is. It is. Just be an adult. Like, you said you were going to do something, do it. If you're going to tell your friend that you're going to pick them up from the airport, are you going to be a week early or are you going to be a week late? No, you're going to pick them up from the airport when you said you're going to. And if the plane gets delayed, there is a 2-week grace period. But
you're there for yourself, just like you're there for your friends.
That's it. That's it. Be an adult.
Be on time. Be an adult. You heard it here first, folks.
From the
to be adults, and Hex is going to keep us accountable.
That's what it is. Like, that's the one thing I love about the way that the system is structured. It's essentially you have prepaid yourself to have a personal trainer that is not going to show up to train you because you already know what you're going to do, right? You already know what boot camp is. You know what you have to accomplish for boot camp. Let's say you're working on your graduate degree, right? You know what a thesis is. You know you have to make a thesis. You know you have to come up with those things at the very end. So why does someone need to explain that to you? Why does someone need to hold your hand on what it is to come up with an idea and follow through with it, or make a promise and follow through on that?
It's pure fucking solution. It's called Hex.
It's pure game theory, and it's built so. As someone that this is what I do, it's so beautifully done. Because like, if you don't do it, you're just being a child, right? Be an adult. Like, do what you say you're going to do, and you'll make fat gains. But it's not even about fat gains. It's about fat gains are a mean to provide yourself with delayed gratification. Delayed gratification inherently is a game theory that rewards yourself for forward thinking. That's all it is, right? Like, if we want to take this little puzzle, this Pandora's box, and talking about dieting and eating, or exercise and life, or value in shenanigans, right? Everyone needs a little bit of shenanigans in their life, but they also need some value, right? Work hard and play harder. So if you work really, really, really hard, you deserve to play hard. But because you played hard, now you have to work
hardest.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, because you rewarded yourself with playing hard, now you have to go back to working hard, right? And so, like, that's that equilibrium of knowing what you have versus what you get. And it comes from it's so simple. Just be accountable. If you're accountable, you're good. It's so, it can, and that's what I love about Hex. It can be as complex as you want to make it, but it really is just simple. Do good. Do what you say you're going to do. Don't screw over other people. You're done. Super simple. Make sure you have gas in your wallet. Like, it's an unsaid thing, but keep 0.1 ETH for gas. Don't when you're gonna need it, but gas. Other than that, you're good.
I think we have a Motley investor watching right now.
Motley.
I wanted to give a shout out to him because he said something the other day that like unlocked a whole other part
I
of my
love
thinking
Motley.
about Hex.
He's a great guy.
And so here it goes. He said, why are we getting so excited and talking for hours and hours about, just a time deposit, you know? Like, is it like it's and that's the funny thing, right? Is like this is going to change the world in ways that people are still starting to understand because there hasn't been that mechanism to save and to know the economic policy that's going to happen ahead of time. And Bitcoin can tell you 1,000 times that they know what the policy is going to be in the future, but it's the same thing as politics, right? Like it could be changed by consensus, right? Theoretically. But HEX can't be changed by consensus at all.
So kind of game theory on top of what you just said. All right, what's the only thing that you can't buy back? Exactly. That's why it's the most valuable commodity that there is. It is the only thing that money cannot buy you. You can be as rich as you want in the world, and even though you want to get rich in HEX, you know what you have to put in? The only thing you can't get back, time. It's meta as fuck. When you,
it's layered, right? Like
yes, sir.
You have to stake your economic energy, and then you have to wait the time component. And so,
well, like I was talking about before about the whole Fritz Lang thing. Not many people know who he is, but like as an inspiration to Hitchcock, as an inspiration to Tarantino, and I can't for my brain's farting on the director of Terminal. When you can see time echoed and locked in with film, with different bands that echo each other and reimagine what an ideal is. Time is the universal factor of inspiration, of money, of gesture, of creation, of inspiration is time. I mean, being an artist, right? Most artists don't get paid till they dead. That is not good to be an artist. However, time is that universal vector of that inspiration, money, and acknowledgement, right? You don't get to be a Rembrandt. You haven't put the time in to be a Rembrandt.
That's exactly right. You have to put in the time, and that's what HEX allows you to do.
Yes, sir.
In the sense that you can make the decision, and then you don't have to worry about changing your mind.
Well, the beautiful thing, Maddie, is like if you had a decision to make, don't all in on something that you can't pull off, right? If you don't think you can run
ahead, that's what the staking ladder is, right?
No, that's exactly right. Like those that are new, go hard on that 555 stake. Just realize what you got and know what your age is, right? I'm cruxing on 40, so for me, Molly is standing wrapped in a fat riddle. Oh, Captain. Man, but game theory on time, man. It's really a kerfuffle on how so much actually values on time, and a lot of that is most people wear it to experience. That if you are old enough, that you've passed enough time, that you've weathered enough, that you have the insight to make better decisions, but that's actually not the case. Time doesn't gift wisdom, but if you have wisdom, you will be gifted time.
And I think like when we talk about time, as you're saying, and the rules that define it, which is the game theory part, that we can be more certain about what future human behavior will be. We can predict it better than without the understanding of how incentives will shape behavior in a predictable way. Mm-hmm. And let's kind of like think about what is it that makes money valuable, right? And we know that it's a unit of account. We know that it's a medium of exchange, but being a store of value, right? And what does store really mean, right? It means holding. And it implies holding over time. And so Bitcoin claims to be a store of value. And
it still is.
it is, right. It
You
is.
can't go sober maxi. Like Bitcoin is important. Richard even says it's important.
I was gonna walk that back. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
it's okay.
I know.
Well, I like to walk it like
33K today,
no,
and I was like looking at it like 23 or
no,
33.
I want to throw a fucking dart over at Archie because I love that guy and his pirate ship, right? So if you didn't understand the intrinsic value of what a fax machine is, and you're like, I don't need that dirty internet email thing when it dials up and it goes. Now, where is the world without it? Where is it without your cell phone? Your cell phone now communicates quicker than dial-up ever did 20 years ago. And because of the Occam's curve that everything moves so much quicker as you move through that vector, we still use fax machines. God knows, I have no idea why. Because you should just scan it digitally and just send it over. But it's a necessary component to still exist in the ecosystem, and going to a doctor or an attorney or the court or any of the rest of that is a necessary component of life as of this point. So BTC,
it's so Google can't read your private health records, from my clinic. We still fax stuff, so they can't read that. I don't know, maybe they can, but
still, like you have the human error on the other end that says that they may not even pick up the fax machine. The fax machine may not answer. Somebody drops it in the PC load letter may shoot up, and someone takes the bat to the fax machine, and then it's just office space. So I trust
when Bitcoin is like reaching such a high valuation, and it's holding economic energy, right? And and it's holding that over time, and it's not even designed to do that better than HEX is. So that's how we know we're so early in HEX. Sure. That's how we know Bitcoin paved the way. If HEX was invented first, then people would not be able to see into the future and realize how many millions of X it can do, right? And so we're thankful that Bitcoin is, proving to be somewhat of a store of value despite its weaknesses and its strengths. And thank you, Satoshi. You made it possible to not be able to copy something digital, and that allows us to have a better technology where, Richard said it, it's the velocity of money, in a sense, that determines the value, right? Sure. And he went on with that one guy, I don't even remember his name. I probably wouldn't say it even if I did, but he's some crypto influencer. And, Richard ended the discussion talking about that, and they both agreed, it's like well known in economics that once you get adoption, then the slower velocity of money is better.
Well, like even just rolling it back to like the whole fax machine thing, without dial-up, we wouldn't have Wi-Fi on our cell phones. You can't deny the fact that dial-up had a huge play on enabling email and files to be transferred over this hookity-boogity thing. And then now we've got 5G looking at. We were talking about it earlier. I'm like, bandwidth on 4K, dude. You're like, no, 5G. And I'm like, but bandwidth, right? You know what I mean? Bandwidth, right? You only put so much to the pipe.
We're streaming on a fax machine too right now. It's just
as long as they have the handshake, that's all you need. It doesn't matter if anyone gets the information of it. That handshake, as long as you have that, game over, baby, game over. But like even in game dev, right? Like it's the most quirky, arcing industry that you can do. So we have now new software that procedurally generates textures. But if you don't know how a texture is made, you don't have the history to understand why a texture is good and what you have to do to fix it. And so the underlying architecture and understanding, it's kind of like knowing where your parents came from, right? You can't deny your origin story, but what you can do is build on your origin story, right? And so like To deny your origin story is deny your history. And if you don't listen
Hmm.
to history, you will fail and repeat it. So,
So
and
can I ask you a question about that?
yes,
Because
sir.
you just brought up a keyword that I haven't gotten to talk to anybody about. And
Can I talk to
I
people
think it
about
relates to the game theory. And I know there's not going to be, enough time to discuss all the game theory topics. We could have a whole day or whole week discussion about game theory topics. Uh,
forever and ever,
but
dear friend,
but
forever and ever.
I'm so curious. Like, um, I wonder if someday we'll look back on all the data that's being created on the blockchain and through products like HEX, right? And all the products, well, no, all the like the projects that came before where people exit scammed, and
There's
it
a
makes me
limit
think.
failing.
It makes me think like I've seen projects in the space. They like you know the the founder coins or whatever,
Sure.
they get like redistributed to the holders, and like that's like that's an unintuitive thing. Why would a human being like give up all their coins? And I'm not saying that's gonna happen in Hex, but what I'm saying is like you reach a point where I think you're incentivized to do what's best for the community.
Sure.
And I wonder if you could help me understand more about what the game theory is there. Uh,
Sure. I mean, like, this is like
if you
super
understand
off.
what I'm trying to say.
Sure, super off the cuff, right? So if let's just say I am, and I'm not putting any ducat into like race, creed, or anything, but let's just say I move to a different country, and I have a particular job that's low effort or high effort, but pays low yield, regardless of what it is, right? I could be, I could have come from my country or my place of origin, whatever it is, as a doctor, but then I go somewhere else due to economic need or the desire to just get the fuck out of America. And I just take a job. It doesn't matter what a job is. That job has economic energy. And what I was before theoretically doesn't matter, but I still understand those tactile skills. Like, Motley does real estate, Cap does fucking tooling. Tooling is fucking tough work too. Moving those machines, I was a security guard doing that for a while. But I have that economic history, those ghosts that allow me to lift those mental weights that allow me to build something into it, right? So let's say that I decided to leave and then founder a family. And let's just say before I left, I was a doctor. Would I not still want to teach my kid what being a doctor was about, even though I may do a different job, whether that's washing clothes, cooking pizzas, picking food, fucking driving a truck? Just because I was a doctor once doesn't mean I'm not still a doctor, just because I can drive a truck somewhere else. But what I am doing is moving my economic energy forward and through that teaching, right? And that inherently is the beauty of the forward thought of crypto. If we really want to go into stupid game theory, the gains we have seen ain't shit compared to when we have augmented reality that's run on crypto, that has all sorts of crazy robots, that has all sorts of crazy nonsense, right? When you think about what a video game is and you play that physical character, you're still playing a game that I or someone else made. When you're actually playing that with yourself, you should probably understand the game theory and the crypto behind it, because that evolution is, and Richard talks about it with sci-fi, right? It's all about the ability to evolve, but also remember your heritage. Where you came from is the building blocks on where you go. And inherently, that was the first checkbox that said that I was alling in into the HEX, is because like watching the Cap and the people that now I consider exceptionally good friends, to get to know them, they saw that value, because they know where they came from, they know where they want to go, they see the vessel in front of them. It's kind of like a canoe without a fucking like paddle, right? Somebody finds a fucking man a paddle, let's fucking go. And so if you do that, the economic energy is there to be spent. You just have to tap into the vector, the Pandora's box, the ecosystem that allows you to tap into it. And inherently, that comes from your history, and it comes from where you came from, the morals, well, again, like we talked earlier, HEX teaches good practices. If your friend's flying in the airport, you don't show up 2 weeks early, you don't show up 2 weeks late. You show up ish on time. Like, you still have 2 weeks, but you show up ish on time. Plane could be delayed, could get there early, ish on time. They should have texted you when they got in the plane with the flight number, and you'd be there on time. But ish on time is okay. Good practice, good health.
I got too many thoughts right now. This brings me back to kind of what I was starting to say earlier about Westworld, right? Like,
oh my god,
my understanding of Westworld is
dude,
you're like unlocking this like amazing game that you didn't
you don't understand. Oh my god. If you want to understand Westworld, watch Haunting on Hill House. Haunting on Hill House has.
I'm only doing educational content. Remember?
But theoretically, this is my job, and I do this for a living, and it's a pretty fancy pants like knowledge set. So I technically am educating you. Haunting on Hill House has one of the best accordion game theories I've seen in a long fucking time. Just like I could quote, the whistling from Kill Bill is the exact same nod that Inglourious Bastards got by the influencer who crafted Hitchcock. That's actually knowledge, right? That's if you want to build a culture and a community, how do you build it except through spoken word and spoken mind?
Yeah, origin story matters, right? In all senses, like where did the crypto come from, and how is it distributed fairly? That's the problem. That's one of the problems that HEX has solved that we don't really talk about that often, right?
Sure. Plus the good actors, right? The good actors are inherently the king. Cap talks about it, that like when you see people dumping, he gets all fucking excited. Like, I did too. Get the fuck out. Like, to ship a game, we need to remove all the stupid assets that are bloat. Get out of here, bloat. I gotta fucking ship a game. Like,
Richard played games for a decade, and he's a genius on like another level, and so that's why
he does hate games. I wish one day we could actually chat about games instead of because
he doesn't want to promote like things that
bad
lead
actor,
people
100%.
back into an addiction or trigger people. But I think even if we're talking on a kind of an intellectual level about how do games play out, kind of like it's what Coffee was saying the other day. Like, what game do you want to play in HEX? Like, do you want to be the trader who gets wrecked? Do you want to be, do you want to be the God Whale? Do you want to be having a dream ladder? Do you want to?
How you can rope that, Maddie? You can literally rope that into Oregon's Trail. What you are literally talking about, I can wipe my face on that and be like, Oregon's Trail, it's gone.
My oxen died.
Oxen died. I got dysentery. My fucking staking ladder got wrecked. I lost my keys. Lost my wife. Not a country song, but all the fucking shit happened. No, like Oregon Trail. And that's the whole thing. Is like, I would love to have a chat with Richard about it because he's stupid fucking smart. I personally believe he's just dealt with some worse garbage of the game industry, and being someone that has worked 80 hours a week for fucking 15 years, I've seen garbage in the gaming industry. But game theory, which a proper game developer can utilize to make a movie, make a short, make an experience. A game is just an experience, right? Just like the HEX is theoretically an experience on how to finally understand the value proposition of money, which again, what's the one thing that you can't buy, Maddie?
Time.
There you go. So like, it is the ultimate game.
That's right. And I think like we're all learning how to improve ourselves so that we'll be able to play the game better. And there's so many levels to the game that it's addictive in like a new way that's kind of healthy. I mean, I talk to people sometimes about how cross addiction happens. And, usually when you quit one substance, you switch to another one that
You
could
have,
be
you have to
just
you
as
have to
harmful
you
or
have to
more
replace the
harmful
bad with the good, and
because
you
your
have to replace
brain,
the
like,
bad with the good
because
twice.
your brain is wired to do that, and your brain doesn't
Sure.
rewire like for nothing. And your brain knows that your environment is probably going to stay the same, and your triggers are going to stay the same, and so you're probably going to relapse anyway. So your brain is not going to waste all the energy in order to physically rewire. It's going to use another behavior to take the place of that addictive behavior, right? Which is why
It's a
when people
little
go to
wolf
rehab,
spider,
they
right?
come
It
out with
makes
an
a little
eating
hole in
problem
its
where they're
nest, and it
overeating,
attacks. Yep.
or people smoke an extra pack of cigarettes or get addicted to caffeine when they're quitting meth or whatever it is. But then we got the case of like exercise, right? Which is, in some cases, if you're exercising in a certain way, you might get a runner's high, right? And that's kind of your body trying to give you that natural boost and to make something that's healthy for you addictive. It's not going to feel good at first, and I can attest to that.
It'll
But there
feel
are
fucking great
natural
once you get to it.
rewards built in,
Yeah. No, when
and
I got
so
cut,
yeah,
like back in 2017, I lost 30 pounds, got super in fucking shape. I was running 7 miles a day, working out for 2.5 hours a day, but I have to start it with running because I hate my life
heck
the
yeah,
first hour. I have to hate my life the first mile. I hate my life the second mile. But by the third mile,
yes,
I actually now my lungs have opened up, my endorphins have opened up, and half the time I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go for 4. Fuck it, I'm gonna go for 5.
yeah,
And then I
totally.
still haven't even started my workout. That's my warm up. And I know that I can break. I'm smart enough to understand the game theory on why I'm being childish and not moving forward. But for me, running on that goddamn treadmill where I can shut my eyes and not give a fuck past mile number 1, past mile number 2,
I
and when I hit
meditate
mile
while
number
I'm running
3, it's
too.
just like game over, man. I'm sledding down the fucking the fucking icy mountain of fucking awesome, and it's hard to get that high. But the beauty of Hex is it gives you that high by locking it up. And you know that you are getting all of the value, especially if you dip in with the community. Like, again, we were chatting with Joe Exotic. I mean, fucking any of the Discord, anything that the Cap has built has been like mind-numbingly great and open to, I mean, he says that what crypto should be. It's not just crypto. It's what a community should be. We just happen to
Yes,
get paid in future dollars. So we are future programming ourselves on future fucking dollars. And
exactly.
that's it. That's it. That's it. Again, like I have learned and grown. And again, like the story about how me, Motley, and all the rest of those people met is it's a really funny story, full circle. However, I've been sitting over here and be like, this shit's fucking good as fuck. I need to go find some like-minded fucking people. And I did. Right? And that's the whole thing is you put in your effort, you put in your time. Even if you don't have a skill in crypto, even if you don't have a skill in an aspect of crypto, you can. You can. All you have to do is watch free content. I mean,
Yeah,
if you really need to be like head slapped in the head, Richard already tells you he gives all shit for free. But it's not just Richard, right? Richard
he's creating a culture of
of
generosity.
well, not just that, self-providing intellectual people. Richard does not want to be worshipped. Richard wants equals who think, evolve, and actually
Totally.
put their money and their effort where their fucking mouth is. Right? You know, that's it took me a while. And I'll say it, I'm the first one that says it. Like, it took me a fucking while, but he wants well-oiled spar partners that actually want to enjoy life and help other people along the way. What more could you ask for someone? Like,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I I totally agree. Yeah. We're so lucky to have a founder who is, he's in it for so much more than just like, if you go back and watch the Hex cameos, I'd recommend that because that's one way that you can, you can get people interested
So
in
it
the
was Maddie's
conference.
crying to glory. Be
There's
like,
a clip. There's a clip in there, and he's like responding to a question. By the way, only billionaire I know who does AMAs all the time, and
right.
messages you back, and he wants to learn from the community, and he wants the community to learn from him and to teach others, and it's this awesome amplification effect. But still, he says it himself. Somebody asks, well, when is the cult gonna get its, status or whatever? And he's like, well, we don't really have this part of this criteria of being a cult. And a cult, you kind of, you need to worship somebody. He's like, me? Nah, like, don't worship me. And that there's a reason I clipped up certain pieces to put in those Hex cameos is because I think that they communicate things that golden nuggets, if you will, diamonds in the rough.
I completely agree. It's the whole De Beers thing, right? It's the whole De Beers thing, and I value that. Again, it took me a hot minute to come full circle on it, but that's exactly how you handle the situation. It's exactly how you handle the situation, especially if you've been doing the same goddamn thing for so goddamn long. I mean, fuck. I rebuilt our entire background in 24 hours. That's what I do for a living. People don't listen to me sometimes when I fucking tell them how to do a background. I understand being frustrated when people don't understand. Be like, fine, I'll just go fix it in 24 hours. Like,
totally.
you didn't listen to me before. But inherently, he just wants to help other people. And he wants them to help themselves. And he will viscerally show you while you're wrong because playing coy hasn't worked, right? And why am I going to waste my effort and energy if playing coy hasn't worked before? It doesn't. There's no economic energy in it, right? There's no staking into it. If you can't see a reward within a particular allotted amount of time, there's no reason to stake into it. And a lot of the things that he does has that intrinsic value of time, effort, and energy, right? And that it boils down to fucking pure game theory, right? If you just you wake up and you build yourself every day and learn what your mistakes you made, you admit to those mistakes and you try to do better every day, whether that's health, money, value, existence, and responsibility. And that's the core value of Richard's game theory is responsibility. It protects you from yourself if you learn the game theory, and it punishes you to learn the game theory.
Be an adult.
That's it.
Hashtag Hex.
Fucking be an adult. Literally, that's it. Just be an adult. Man, it's been a wild year, man. But I tell you, Maddie, like it's like coming full circle to like help you do the conference and like taking the late calls and all the rest of that. Like you've got something pretty damn dope coming up, man. And tip of the hat.
I know, man. Well, thank you, and thank you to the community. Like, I'm just,
did you put
I'm
the
just
image
a
up?
greedy guy who wants to learn from everybody else.
I see. Did you put the image up? Hold on, I'm fucking like clicking through shit. Yeah, I was telling RG, I'm like fucking Send me the hexagons. I'll do the work, just not the legwork. I don't need to figure out like what random.
This is the level of detail that you've put into like
an
obscure background picture.
I did it for like 10 minutes.
And
I did
this is like hanging on the wall, and it's kind of like it's you can make it out. I mean, if you've seen KryptoKoolaid's work with the Jokers background with RG3's pirate ship.
I need to redo the captain's part. The captain is salty that I've done other things that he doesn't have tentacles.
Okay, this is like a small detail of what you did in 24 hours. Like, I don't want to ruin the surprise. Like, I'm gonna keep building this up. Like, I'm not gonna show tonight the background because I want to go be outside. I want to go be outside. This man here made the background for the pirate ship. Made the background for the Joker and the subway car and everything. that's awesome work. So this is just the teaser. This is to make the comments go wild with people talking
I love
about
the
how
captain's
much
face
fun this
though.
is.
Like the thing is, I try to actually
Perfect.
use color compositing to get the green out because he's actually in a green screen at that point. And I'm like, Cap, you don't understand. You just made a whole bunch more work for me because green's hard to pull out. Thank you, Papa. But dude, Archie's face is just fucking gold. It's just fucking gold.
Well, he's trolling in the chat more than I've ever seen.
Oh, is he?
And
I'm not.
he's
I'm
having a
not in any of the
blast.
chats. I just see the whole the quick pops every now and then. So if you're talking ship cap, I can't see it. I mean, you have myself. You can go call. Talk shit.
Give him a ban hammer so that he can.
That's the whole thing. It's like
everybody else in line. It's the captain. The captain of the ship.
it's not just the cap. The cap is inspired. We had this talk the other day when he talked about full fronting the ship to the other fucking cutthroats. Like it's hard to express what working 80 hours a week for fucking 10 years does to you and no one notices it. But what the Cap and Hexo and Motley and Coffee and fucking you and Exotic and I could go on. You have built something fucking special that I've been at work for 24 hours. I'm waiting for my goddamn key to get fixed so I can finally leave. But I'd rather come back up and stream with you guys and to be a human on the fucking line because what you built is good. Yes, it's better that you know that you're going to get money from it, but knowledge is better than money. Knowledge makes you more money. And man, it was the first thing that sold me all in. First thing was community. Second thing was watching people like Stefan Firebun building a fucking stupid lickable app. That shit's slick. Shit's slick as fuck. And then seeing all the other
only
people.
getting slicker.
That's lickable, Maddie. Lickable. You can quote me on that shit. Good fucking term for fucking good tech. And it's good to see what other people on the Cap show and Hexo, they had a 14-year-old playing the piano and singing. Got a little nervous, but that's great. That's great. Seeing more people being you know what happens when you get on stream?
Beautiful.
No, I'll tell you what happens when you get on stream. You know what you have with your time and your value? You're proud of it, Maddie. When you actually get on stream, time, we've already established, is the most valuable resource that you have. When you get on stream, you are proud of your time. That is inherent value. That's what we were talking about earlier. Know your grandfathers. Know where they came from. Know your history. And know why. Yeah, there was Bitcoin, ETH, all the rest of that. Know your history, right? I can tell you history on that stuff. Even like film theory, like we were talking about earlier with Fritz Lang. Knowing your film history and knowing your history and where you came from on anything allows you to make better assessments of what you should do next, because history always tends to repeat itself if you're not smart.
That's right. And I know that we're going to be wrapping up in the next 10 minutes or so because we got a full night of programming throughout the community. And I wanted to see if we could just run through the schedule here as promised and maybe highlight some of the people who everybody hasn't seen recently on stream and help you understand the full extent of who we've got lined up for you. Because we're not going to ruin all the special surprises that are planned that aren't on the schedule. We're not going to give you all of the answers to the test ahead of time, or reveal too much about the content. But we are going to make sure that we have you understand what you're in for, so that you'll be able to invite other people in your life who will be able to get up to speed. So, for example,
just so you know, the Maddie lectured the gaming Scorsese who sleeps at studios that I had to put 2 red X's on my whips to make sure nothing got released early. Maddie is running a fucking tight ship. Look at that smile. He knows that he did it. He ran that fucking shit like a tight goddamn ship. And you should be excited to be here. Be excited to be in the DS with the cap. Be excited to be in Hexo stream. Be excited to see what Joe Exotic and Maddie are building. Be excited to see what Kinetics and the other cutthroats are building. Be excited. All right, Maddie.
Excited.
Excited. Be excited. Be excited.
Now, the keynotes. Some of these are your favorite people in HEX. Oops, I'm flipping around here. So we know that it's going to be in the second to last hour on all 4 of the days. So that's hour 4. We're going to have the first one here. Maybe does need an introduction because this is a presentation that I've previewed from the HEX Germany streamers and the crypto. I'm not going to say it right. Crypto Sparbach. Okay. Well,
awesome German.
Germany is presenting an amazing keynote. They have modeled what happens when person A stakes a certain amount for a certain length of time, and person B comes along and they're staking longer. So you can see on a chart and graph that's updated what kinds of predictions are being made now that we know so much more than we did a year ago about the future supply of HEX, right? And so they have amazing data to share with you. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, Abit and Patrick HexLion, I mean, these guys have been in the community longer than since day one, right? They are OGs, and they are saying that doing this project and creating this presentation for you has changed their behavior when it comes to staking. And now they're staking only 5,555. And
so, Maddie, you know the best thing?
We're going to have people to explain why still that you would not want to do that. We'll have that throughout the conference. We'll have differing points of view because one size doesn't fit all. But for us to understand what the time value of money is and be able to see it in a graph that's changing people's behaviors and minds to save more for their future, I think that's a super exciting keynote. So I can't wait for you to see that.
So the one, whenever I hear something like that, I think about to a very, very old factoid that I bring up into my brain. And it's that you teach the best what you need to learn the most, because you extrapolate all the nuts and bolts. You grease the gears. And then you think about how someone that wouldn't understand gears, grease, and bolts to understand it, and then suddenly epiphany. So I am very excited. But yes, you teach the best what you need to learn the most, and I'm very excited to see this.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. David, what up, dude? All the love.
And listen, we're going to be switching over to Joe Exotic here in just a couple minutes. I want to finish what I promised with reviewing the schedule for
I will shut up.
For the people who aren't as well known. These 3, you're all following them. If you're not following them across all their platforms, then shame on you.
You are silly. Very silly.
Get with the program, turn on your notifications, and make sure to tip them and leave them positive comments, and make sure to let them know how much we value them, because they're the core components of this community.
Yes, sir.
We've got all of our panels laid out here. And remember, you can save these pictures. You can go to hexchange.io and you can save all these pictures. You can text them to your friends and family, anybody who you care enough about and you'd want them to be rich along with you, right? Not financial advice, but definitely conference advice. So we got our panels here. You know, like, we're going to have to do a whole other stream just to get you hyped up about what all is here. And I'm sorry for those of you who don't know all these key characters that stream regularly and are the foundation of the community. But this is an excellent lineup. Our rapid round, we got Timothy Benjamin, who is doing a retirement road trip. Follow him on YouTube. He is a super likable guy. He believed in HEX early on, and now he's living a life he didn't know he would be able to live. And he's having all kinds of adventures and creating content. Serena I will let her tell her story, but I've heard more of it now, and she's somebody really special in the community. You all met Nardo the other day on Hex Therapy Live. He's super likable and does content adventures now. Cabana Crypto, right? Everybody knows him and
Yeah,
appreciates all the content that he puts out. We've got Gives a Minute, who is one of the most popular creators on DLive with over 5,000 or 6,000 followers. This is the one who actually gives you a minute of his time whenever you subscribe to him. He pauses his stream to thank you and to connect with you in a deeper way. And we like giving time because that's something that we save in. And you know, Balliot Brand, you know, Jack, he appeared on Discourse Syndicate one day and everybody liked him. And Dr. Moore is always in the chat, and we appreciate his performance on the 24-hour live stream. And now this global panel is going to be off the chain. And I'm sure you all know all of these characters here with Unwrecked Pirate Patrick Lyon, Hex Lion, and Hodl Dog, shout out. He's got the smoothest voice in crypto. Barely Crafty is, we all know he's you know, super smart dude, super likable, has a really good technology setup. Moving right along, open topics. Get ready for the Johnny Cast experience. You know, he's gonna be making magic like you've never seen it before, because he's gonna be unlocking parts of your mind and giving you truth. At the same time, Crypto Grandma Talks, she's gonna be breaking it down for you in a way that's always gonna make you laugh. We got Kinetics, who is often, you know, appearing to steer the ship whenever RG3 has too many gas station pills and doesn't know what to do. And then we got Molly, the investor, who we shouted out to earlier today, is creating great content all the time. For the staking panel, now it's getting super interesting once again, because we have one of the core developers from the HEX team. Now, HEX is a finished product, so I'm not aware that he's coding in HEX now, but it looks like he's going to be willing, despite all of his busy schedule and family life, that he will be trying to make it on with us. And he is one of the people that coded the game theory and the staking and knows the rules inside and out. We've got Kareem, the Dream, staking ladder. We have Big Kurkowski, who was a Bitcoin miner. And guess what? Now he mines HEX, and you really have to understand HEX and the difference between Bitcoin and HEX in order to understand what that really means. And that's a much easier job for him, because all he has to do is stake it till he makes it, and not deal with all these crazy supercomputers that exit scam their economic energy. And then Firebun is also one of the people who, well, he's the coder for Staker app, the thing we're all addicted to. You can thank this man for all of your dopamine hits 700 times a day, Bran. And we all appreciate Firebun, and we've seen his content lately, and he's a real stand-up guy. We got Randy Hilarski, who I mentioned earlier, is a social media whiz and knows a lot about crypto. We got Steph, the founder of Staker app, who we enjoyed seeing on the 24-hour live stream. Silver the Antidote, we shouted out to earlier and did a whole segment on him. And then we've got KryptoKoolaid in the fourth box here, as represented by a beam of light.
I'm just pointing out the fact that, am I just worth a pixel to you? I don't have a face. I make worlds for a living. Am I just a pixel in an environment, Maddie? It's a jab of good things. I'm glad you put my environments on there, but I'm like, I swear, I'm
You
more
and
than
I
the
are so busy
environment,
making
Maddie.
stuff. There's gonna be plenty of time to impress people on the big day.
Dude,
So
it's gonna
I
be.
want.
Keep going, my friend. This panel is great. You've done a fantastic job. I'm excited. Please tell me more.
Is switching spots with Patrick Hexline. So a Hexline is going to break down the price along with dollar cost crypto, Big Pep with the spreadsheets and the Saturday talks that everybody enjoys. And then we got Yash Deep. You've seen him on our show. Finally, the final panel is going to involve myself and Richard Hart as we reveal this this outline and all of the things that we are going to help promote, right? Because HEX is a life extension technology, and so self-health is the name of that talk. We've got talks from all the people you see pictured here, and I know that my co-host for Hex Therapy Live, he's doing a stream now, so I want to send everybody over to him now. You're gonna all still be tuning in to everything that's happening with the conference, and I want to make sure that you get a chance to see Joe Hexotic because he's doing super important things when it comes to recovery through strength, hope, and mutual help. And that's something that that I think we all really admire about him, and thank him for being such a generous member in the community as well.
I think the one thing you have to remember also in life is that every problem has a reward in its completion. What you do with those rewards is up to you. And then when you evolve in a system that you not only get those rewards, but you get the lessons, the community, the knowledge, everything that this place has from you could have never done anything in crypto before, or you could be an OG and looking for a final port. It's all here. And so, like, definitely everyone hop over to Joe Exotic. He's a fucking awesome dude. And I am going to go see if my car is ready. So I will hex all with you later. And again, Maddie, I'm super stoked to see what you put together. It's amazing, dude. Like, you put together a lot. And it's not just, this is your conference, but like, there's so many of the other Hex community that's all coming together and batting in the hatches from all the cutthroats, from all the people that are just finding their bedrock and that are tuning in. You all have a place here, and it's a very humbling place to be. So thank you all for your time, and thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much, Kool-Aid.
I'm out of here. All the love, guys.
You're right. Talk to you soon. And thanks everybody for tuning in. You can find Crypto Kool-Aid coming to a conference near you digitally, and you can find all my content, allmylinks.com/allin, and you'll find links to the conference, to articles that I've written. You will see all the platforms where you can subscribe, and even links to other core members of the community and their social media. And thank you to everybody else who is doing cross promotion, because that's one of the strengths here in our community. And so with no further ado, I'm going to ask everybody to jump over and show Joe Hexotic some love. We're going to put in the chat here, I'm going to put a link to it, and then I'm going to see if I can figure out how to host him. So stand by here. You're going to find Joe Hexotic on your platform of choice when you go to http://joehexotic.com. That's going to take you to his All My Links account, allmylinks.com/joehexotic. Can we make sure that I'm going to make sure this link works. And we're hoping that that'll take you there to his live stream that's happening now. And then I'm going to stick around and try to see if there's a way to host him. So thank you all for listening. I appreciate all of your support, your kind comments, some of your mean comments. I appreciate some of them. But it's really a blessing to have so many awesome people to tune in and to learn from. So thank you all. Okay, yeah, joehexotic.com. Goes to allmylinks.com/hexotic. Okay, so that's the HTTPS version that you can tune into and go watch him live now. Let me see if I can play some music while I'm figuring this out. And you guessed it. To close out the show, we're gonna play the Hexagon Anthem by Freddie Quotes, who will be doing a special appearance at the conference to kick off the first social. And that is in the final hour of the conference on the first day. Chrome tab, share audio.
Username that don't ever send me money. Imposters everywhere. Richard Hart bracket. Don't ever send me money. Imposters everywhere bracket. That's fucked up, right? Like, I'm out there actually making an effort trying to stop the fucking scams. And everyone else is like, oh, fucking that Richard, yeah, he's a scammer.
Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, 5, 5, 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got a set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Hex.
Yo, it's Joe Exotic and the Joker. That's an awesome lineup. And they're both looking super fresh and fly and awesome. So make sure to check them out right now.
ICOs, pump and dumps, they always try to take you. Buy low, sell high, I'm tired of your fake news. You need a token, you broken, you wanna see some massive gains? Lambo, new crib, model wife, cash and chains. Look no further at your final destination. Don't be complacent every day when you paper chasing. Choose the best, leave the rest, stop investing like you press. The only crypto that you'll ever need is HEX. Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, 5, 5, 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got a set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Hexicans. Your investments are safe, it's got defenses. A mutable contract that pays trustless interest. I don't understand why everybody is hating. HEX is capped at 3.69 inflation. Shares are like hash rate. The higher you take her, the more daily interest that gets paid to the stakers. Always do your own research, don't listen to me though. It's complete, it can't be changed. HEX is finito. Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, 5, 5, 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got a set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Hexicans. Game has changed, ain't no going back now. Dummies that called HEX a scam can back down. I hope you understand, I pray that you follow me. You owe the entire HEX family an apology. And stay sober, cash out, the game's over. HEX is here for the market cap takeover. Buckle up, we about to be full throttle. With multiple audits is where we get paid to hodl. We got the game smothered, sisters and brothers, with no expectation of the work from others. It's complicated, I know that there's a lot to this. For your daily HEX updates, tune to Hexologists.
What's up, guys?
HEX is like nothing that you ever been through. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the pumpamentals. If you like what you hear, buy now, think twice. Just remember, yo, this ain't financial advice. Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, 5, 5, 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got a set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Hexicans.
Sometimes I have to change my username to don't ever send me money. Imposters everywhere. Richard Hart bracket. Don't ever send me money. imposters everywhere bracket. That's fucked up, right? Like, I'm out there actually making an effort trying to stop the fucking scams. And everyone else is like, oh, fucking that Richard. Yeah, he's a scammer.
Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got a set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Hexicans. ICOs, pump and dumps, they always try to take you. Buy low, sell high, I'm tired of your fake news. You need a token, you broken, you wanna see some massive gains? Lambo, new crib, model wife, cash and chains. Look no further at your final destination. Don't be complacent every day when you paper chasing. Choose the best, leave the rest, stop investing like you press. The only crypto that you'll ever need is HEX. Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got a set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Hexicans. Your investments are safe, it's got defenses. A mutable contract that pays trustless interest. I don't understand why everybody's hating. HEX is capped at 3.69 inflation. Shares are like hash rate. The higher you take her, the more daily interest that gets paid to the stakers. Always do your own research, don't listen to me though. It's complete, it can't be changed. HEX is finito. Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5,